Hey guys, I want to wish you all a very happy 2023, happy new year. I wish you great health, great success, and everything. And make some goals, make some plans, dream big, write them down on paper, actually stick with them as best you can. We all know 95% of people will give up after a couple of months, which is a shame. Try not to be one of them. I'll do my best to not become one of those either, right? Life is full of success and failure. I'm going to share a couple of different things, both my successes and failures over 2022, related to the channel and obviously synonymous with my own life because this channel is part of my life. So basically, my main goal for 2022 was to finally get that 100,000 subs, but I failed. It is what it is, man. I tried, but I failed. And I know some mistakes I made. Now, there's always going to be like an element of luck, right? Especially when it comes to YouTube, but with everything in life. YouTube in particular, it's that algorithm's got to work in your favor. But there's a lot of different things you can do to help make it work in your favor. Proper thumbnails, titles, the right video topics, things that are trending, stuff like that. And that's definitely things I can work on to make sure the channel gets better traction. So I started the year off with 43,000 subs, which is not a bad start. And I more than doubled it. So I ended the year with over 88,000. So I fell short, but I'm definitely going to hit that 100,000 this year. I'm going to get that plaque. I'm going to put it in the bookcase. It's going to be it's going to be very sweet, right? Because it will be between 3 to 4 years of consistently putting out videos. So a lot of work, a lot of time. And I'm grateful. I'm blessed. Some channels never blow up. And then you get some that they'll crack 100,000 subs in the first year. I mean, they are definitely doing something right. But some people, it on average, guys, it takes about 2 years just to hit the bare minimum threshold of getting monetized, where you could start making like a little bit of money on YouTube with all the time and effort you put in. Granted, it's probably going to be like 20 bucks a month or something. But basically, the threshold is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And then you're kind of like getting somewhere, right? But that 1,000 subs is a long way from 100,000. So that's the next stage where YouTube really starts taking you serious because they give you a plaque and acknowledge you. It's like, hey, you're kind of a real YouTuber now, right? So, but anyway, I'm grateful. You always got to show gratitude, and I think we all need to start off our day with gratitude. And I have to remind myself of that because wherever you are in life, there's always someone, probably a lot of people that are doing way worse. And maybe part of it's their fault, maybe part of it's not. It's never that black and white. And that's why life in a lot of ways is unfair. But I think we need to show gratitude and be grateful for what we have, whether it's the relationship we have, the career, the finances, the health, just anything. And to a degree, a lot of that's in our control. But there's also a lot of reasons why sometimes that will get out of your control. But we got to be grateful for what we have. And it doesn't mean you have to necessarily be content or get complacent. You should always strive to improve in some way, and not necessarily for selfish reasons, but it becomes selfless. Because if you can become the person that you want to become, then you could start lifting other people up, right? And helping them become who they want to become. And like all this positivity just it snowballs. And that's also why it's very important to surround yourself with the right people. Or negative people, you may 2023, you may just want to get rid of them in your life. And then, with the right attitude, you want to start attracting the right people in your life, right? Because these people are going to rub off on you. You got to be really careful who you surround yourself with. And I believe we all remember our parents telling us that when we were kids, but we didn't really pay as much attention as we probably should have, because you wanted to, I want to hang out with the cool kids, and they're smoking cigarettes or drinking beer. It's like, no, you really don't want to hang out with those kids, to be honest. But you want to rebel when you're young. So anyway, life is full of success and failure. And I had successes on the channel, by the way, man. This was 2022, looking back, was quite an amazing year, especially with some of the interviews I've done and the networking, and it just like builds, right? That is definitely a success, but I did not reach that ultimate sub goal. I wouldn't even say I reached my view goal. Some of my videos get really good views, other ones don't really go anywhere, and it really just kind of depends on the topic. But if I'm trying to grow the channel, I really got to try to focus on those topics that I know are likely to get more views, and that's what the audience would want anyway. I'm making this for you guys, right? So if they're getting views and it's stuff that more people want, then that's what I got to make. Now, obviously, there's always that like little niche. Like I said, nothing's black and white. So there are certain topics I know people want, and certain topics I want to make, but I know they're not going to get the views that they probably should. But I still think those videos are actually worth putting out. I just gotta focus going ahead to hit my goals. And that's not just the 100,000 subs next year. I want to double the subs like I did last year. So would that probably put me at over 170,000? So we got to set the goals high, man, because it's better to strive and fail to a high goal than to achieve like some little minuscule goal. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't set these like little goals. You should, because that kind of builds confidence, and then you start setting like bigger goals. But anyway, 2023 and beyond, I say, man, set your goals high, do what you can in a smart way. That's why I say write it down. Got to remind yourself, looking at that paper every day, of what you're trying to achieve. Try to stay on track, stay the course, and see it through. And I'm going to do my best, and I hope, wish you guys do your best as well. But it really comes down to attitude at the end of the day, because you're going to have these certain thoughts that leads to feelings, that leads to actions, and having the right attitude is going to take you really far in life, and it'll lead to personal responsibility. So I don't think most of you guys are, not a fan of this whole participation trophy thing, and I do think it created a very weak generation as a result. I remember growing up, for example, and my brother, in our parents' bookcase, he had all the trophies, right? He had the BMX racing trophies, the football trophy, the basketball trophy. I didn't have anything. Like, I played basketball, my team sucked. Like, we didn't deserve a trophy. It is what it is. So I always kind of envied what he had. But I eventually found something that I was good at. I stuck with the weightlifting and the martial arts, and I was able to excel in that. I still do that to this day. Like 20, man, crazy. It'll be nearly 30 years, 29, 30 years this year consistently from starting that. And that just kind of reminds you of like how fast life goes, right? Just so fast. That's why we got to work hard and set those goals and remain grateful for what we have, but always strive to get more. But let me just share a couple of milestones here. Let me just share a couple of interesting things on the channel. 2022 snapshot. 18.1 million views, almost 34 million minutes of watch time, 658,000 likes, and then, like I said, 45,000 subs. When this report came out, it said 42, but I added about 45. Most views were in August. So again, YouTube is, you get those good months, you get those bad months. It is what it is. All-time highlights. So when this report came out, by the way, earlier in this month, or last month, December, 1,428 days since my first upload. Stay the course. That's important, right? 1.5 million all-time likes, over 159,000 comments. Thanks so much for commenting, guys. That really helps the engagement. YouTube algorithm will push the videos out more if you comment. So please comment, like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, of course. And then over 112,000 all-time shares. Yeah, share the videos. Help get the word out. Help spread this. And a couple of really cool things that had happened this year. I'll just give you guys a couple of cool interviews. So I had Frank Dukes on. I had videos with Don the Dragon Wilson, Benny the Jet Urquidez, other martial arts masters in the Aikido world, Prince Garius, and then in the ninjutsu world, Stephen K. Hayes. That was really awesome. I had Chris Van Dam on. Really cool to get his insight, right? Growing up a Van Dam. And then I probably did like the most extensive behind the scenes information that you could get on Only the Strong. So I had Sheldon Lettich back, of course, and then his co-writer Luis Esteban, who shared some really cool stuff, Paco Prieto, who played Savario, and I got Mark Dacascos, right? I got Mark Dacascos on. Other great interviews were Michael Jai White, Scott Atkins. Just so much happened last year. And I think part of it is because I have the right attitude. This positivity and energy, it attracts people, and they actually want to be on the show. I'm blessed in many ways, and I'm able to meet people through people. So it just builds like a snowball, right? Like you meet one guy, and then they'll put the word into another guy, and then you start building like a good reputation, and that's very exciting. So what I want to do going into this year is I want to take some trips where I basically get to train with different individuals. Like next time I'm in California, for example, I want to train with Chris Van Dam, film it for the channel, of course. I want to train with Paco Prieta. Other guys outside of California, I want to train Stephen K. Hayes. I know he's got a home dojo. Hopefully, he'll let me train with him. I don't see why he wouldn't. We get along really well, right? I want to do a ninjutsu training with him, or a Toshindo, actually, is what he does. That's what it's evolved to. And then I've been talking to a guy named Elliot Freeman, who is Steven Seagal's most senior student. He's been teaching Aikido for 50 years. Me and him really hit it off, and he doesn't even live that far. He's like in the next state over. So when I interview him, it'll actually be in person, and I'll train Aikido with him, right? Get my first Aikido lesson, and we'll check out like his Japanese sword collection, all this other stuff. So that's what I want to bring you guys, some really cool things like that. I got to give a shout out to Gary Henry Amon, by the way, Grandmaster Gary Henry Amon. He set me up with Elliot Freeman, and yeah, so that's what I'm saying, guys. You meet one guy, build a relationship, build a rapport, then they'll introduce you to another guy, and it just like keeps building like that. So it's really cool. So the channel, just because of that, it's just going to keep growing and getting bigger, and going to keep getting these different guests. But I think doing these little trips, like I said, would be quite exciting to share. I just, as a martial artist myself, I'll be like a kid in a candy store training with these guys, and you can share that journey with me. So, oh, that's another thing though. I'm going to start a Patreon account to give you guys some extra exclusive content, but also that extra money, because there's not a lot of money in ad revenue, by the way. It's just not really there. But the Patreon, I will definitely provide extra value, give you guys exclusive content, but it also help fund to some degree some of these trips, you know, because if I go out to California, that's a pretty expensive plane ticket, right? So anyway, and then there's some other things, some really big things that really big project I've been working on all of last year. Actually started in 2021, worked really hard throughout 2022, and will continue to work at it. Haven't really brought it up or talked about it on the channel yet, but there has been progress made, and I believe this year, 2023, I can reveal it and really make it a reality. So that's one of those longer big goals, dreams, right? That it'll actually be tied and implemented in the channel pretty well. It is very fitting. So, but yeah, that's the thing, man. Life is full of successes and failures, and if you have the right attitude, those failures, it'll lead you towards finding a solution, right? If you have the wrong attitude, it's like, oh, I'm a victim, I give up, I quit, I can't make this happen. It's like, ain't gonna happen then, because you've got the wrong attitude. So that's why I'm preaching like attitude, right? Attitude. And I want to share this with you guys, and hopefully in some ways motivate and inspire you guys to really push towards your goals, your dreams, and it'll just get you in that more healthy mental headspace too, and you're just gonna have a better life. Like at the end of the day, we are not here that long. Like we don't know how long we are going to be here. So even if you live 100 years in the grand scheme of things, that's not even that long. But it's really like what you do with those years. So, I'm all about like a goal-oriented person in general. So I say push ahead, work towards something, and that's going to give your life value and meaning. And then you do it in a selfless way, not just some egotistical, selfish way. You do it where you could kind of provide something for other people. I mean, that's why we're here. We're all here to like help each other, and we should be raising each other up, right? And in turn, like raise ourselves up. Like it's like the tide that lifts all boats. So I preach the positivity and the attitude and all that, and the gratitude. Anyway, a lot of excitement for 2023. I wish you guys all the best, and I'll be putting out a lot of videos starting tomorrow. Finally get out part 1 of a Jeff Langton interview, and that's going to be really good stuff.
I don't know if I want to fight you